Hello everybody. We are working on a Chevy SSR cluster today. One that I don't know a lot about, but it's an 03 to 06 GM. I don't think I've ever had one of these in, but we're going to tear it apart and check it out. I'm sure it's just going to be stepper motors, same as most of the others. Let me get a screwdriver. I found my short screwdriver so I don't have to use my 6-foot long one. If you watched the previous video where I was using that one that you have to stand back to work on it. Get a couple clips on the side here. Side. Get the faces off, or the lens off. Just some clips on the lens, looks like. And that'll be out of the way. They're a little tougher than the average clips. Whoa. So be careful not to do that. So your lens is out of the way. Pretty beefy looking lens. And that is hanging up bad. This one's done. I don't know how any of these are working actually. Alrighty. So I don't have a power up. Well, I can get a power up for it, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. The only complaint on this one was that the gauges were inoperative, so we're just going to go through that process. It's got a little goop down here. I'm going to see if I can get that off. Yeah. Not sure how that got there, but. So when I don't have the power up for them, we set the gauges by moving them to their stop points. I just put a little pencil mark that I can erase. You got to look real hard to see it in the first place, but it's there. Occasionally I've gotten a little, that's on there pretty good. Gotten my thumb on them or something while I'm working on them and the pencil mark goes away, and then that gets interesting. So if you use that method, just don't get all handsy with your marked areas. Alright, so we got a basic GM board. Looks a lot like a looks a whole lot like a Trailblazer board. And probably the pinout's the same, which means I should have a plug for it. But again, we're just simply doing the job. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Since it's on video, we might as well do it right? Stand by, we'll get the pin out and the plug. Okay, nothing like realizing you haven't been recording after you've done a few things. Anyhow, turns out this is a Trailblazer type cluster. The Trailblazer plug works on it because the power and the ground is identical. Comes up and says Chevy SSR when you power this one up though. Might be interesting to read the EEPROM and find out what the difference is there. Whether that particular feature is in the EEPROM or the processor, I don't know, but that would be interesting to research. We found one light bulb out while we were powering it up. Typically we replace them all anyway, so let's dig in. I've already desoldered the back with my desolder pump. This is a cheap Chinese version, but I bought about 50 of these way back when because I bought one and then it worked real good, and I thought, well, I'll just buy about 50 of them because they're cheap and I'll have them from now on. And this might be my second or third one of these that I've gone through, and they just don't go bad. It's cheap and it's good. I've got the fancy one. I think personally this is faster, so I've desoldered all of these at this point. So we're going to pop those up. I pop them out by pushing on these little white areas that are protruded through the board. What that does is it puts pressure straight down on the pads if there's any adhesion left where I tried to desolder them. It's going to push straight down instead of trying to. What you never want to do is come in here and try to break these things loose with a screwdriver or anything else. Get down. Cat's messing with things. And if you do that, you know, you got a potential mess going on. So we're going to pull these. Hopefully I remember which one was which. Okay, this top one here is not used. Naturally I don't have my Sharpie when I need it, so I'll just put that so I remember not to put one there. Alright, well, I got this out. I don't typically see the problem with the Prindle and the odometer dimming on these. If you do have that problem, the resistors up here probably would take care of that. I don't see a lot of problems with these other than the stepper motors and the lighting, actually. You do get a little bit of growth, the dendritic growth on the back of the board occasionally with these. It's not as bad as the Chevy trucks, but got a little bit going on there we'll get rid of. Other than that, it's just lighting and stepper motors. Like I said, we're going to replace all the lighting, so we just might as well pop these off. I don't typically replace these. These are turn signals. The turn signals, you know, they don't get a lot of burn time, so you don't typically have to replace those, as well as the high beam, and well, let's see what else the other one is here. It's a high beam and a cruise control light. Not really any reason to replace those. So let's get started on what we are going to replace. It's interesting, the light that was bad was actually on the gauge that wasn't present, so maybe that lights up the little Chevy SSR emblem. I'll go ahead and put one back just in case that's the case. I do this ahead of time. I ball up a little ball on the lighting pad. That way it makes sticking the lights to it a whole lot easier. And I've got to cut some of these lights, so that's going to be fun. Should have already had these done before we started the video, but I didn't. I'm learning a lot about YouTube though. This gets me more watch hours, which gets me closer to making money off of helping people, which is fine. Do two good things, right? Anyway, I'm cutting these at about that length. Oh. And that gives me a little room to work with, but not too much overrun past the pad, because you don't want to short things out. So I'm doing about 3 at a time. It saves a little bit of time. All these bulbs come out of China. Some Chinamen are better than others when it comes to making bulbs. I've got some really crappy ones in the past, and I've got some really good ones in the past. So give about 3 or 4 more. I usually cut about 100 of these at a time, 100, 200 of them. That way I don't have to do this, but I'm out. Alright, well, your bulb's cut. Process is simple. You just get them down there where you want them. Your solder's already in place. So you just heat up the solder, stick the bulb on where you want it. Kind of be mindful of the little legs sticking out, because if they are in contact with anything that you don't want them to be, let's just say that's bad. So when I got called on this one, they asked me, they told me it's a Chevy SSR. I told them, or asked them, I said, what year is it? And I think he said it's an 04 or 05. And immediately I said, yeah, bring it in. Because the problems with anything from 03 to 06, some of the 07s, on GM clusters is almost always this crap. The same crap. Crappy stepper motors. And crappy lighting. Okay, we got all our bulbs replaced. Give them a little test. They're all working. Gonna replace our stepper motors. They all index with a little tab, so you can't get them wrong. The X27 version of the stepper motor, I think, is the latest iteration. This is actually another manufacturer that I'm using here. Had good luck with these so far. They're getting a little harder to find. At least they're harder to find at a reasonable price. So, okay. So when you're coming back with these things, you want to make sure that your holes are clear before you put those stepper motors in, because your through holes, if they're not clear, you're going to push the pad off the back side. So make sure you got a nice clean hole to stick those stepper motors through, or the pins for the stepper motors. I'll push that pad off and you'll be in a world of hurt. It's like a phrase from the 80s that your dad used to give you. You're gonna be in a world of hurt, boy. And it was usually true. Needs to be a little bit more of that going on in the world these days. That should be it. It seems kind of short, but that should be it. Maybe I'm just fast. Alright. It's going back together with this. Place your board in the back housing, place your face, and make sure your bulbs are straight, standing straight up. In the place your face over the top, push it down, snap it in place. Set my needles. If you need to maybe use the old marks on this one because that didn't work out too good. Sometimes until I cycle a few times with these stepper motors, they don't find their home position as well as they do after they've cycled a couple times. Anyway, after cycling it a few times and making a couple of adjustments, you get to where you need to be. There we go. If you don't have a bench power supply like I do and a pre-wired plug for it or anything like that, you can always just go out to the car and plug it in. And set them right there like this with the lens off and you'll be good to go. The only thing on setting the needles that I do suggest is never have the power on when you're setting them. So whether you're in the car, unplug it if you're in the car, and make your adjustment and plug it back in. I've never actually had a problem, but it's just a practice. I don't practice that way. I turn everything off before I make adjustments. I've never actually seen it, but it sounds like it's bad, so I just don't do it. We're all in place there. I'm going to clean this lens. the clearest lens in the world, but it'll work. Power off here so I can manipulate it a little more. All snap back together. Final power up and check. Oh, my cord's a little short, so there you go. I'll let you see it power up. Everything working, everything done. Put it out the door and we will have a happy customer at the end of the day. Thanks for watching our repair video. If this repair or any of the other repairs in our videos seem to be a little bit more difficult than what you'd like to tackle yourself, just package your cluster up, send it to us. We use plenty of bubble wrap. Most repairs are done and shipped back the next day. So we're here Monday through Friday from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock and able to answer any questions you might have. I hope the video has helped you. If it has, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to see the new ones as they come up, and share our channel if this has helped out, because it might help some of your friends as well. Thanks for watching.